You're now live with just a few seconds delay. So, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the new members presentation. It's already the end of October. And so as we do every month at the Blockchain Game Alliance, we are welcoming all the new members who joined the organization this month by giving them the chance to present what they are doing to our community and rest of the world during this event. Without any further ado, let's jump with the presentation. First, presentation about the Blockchain Game Alliance. If you're not familiar with the BGA, it's essentially a non-profit organization committed to promoting blockchain within the game industry. Our goal is to spread awareness about blockchain technology, such as non-fungible token, decentralization, DAOs, cryptocurrencies, etc., to foster and promote new ways to create, publish game, engage with communities, and all of that around video games. We also strong advocate for diversity and inclusivity of women in the industry. We've organized various events that involve more women speakers. And we are open forum for individuals and companies to share knowledge, network, connect, create common standard, participate in working group, establish best practices, and help all together to move the industry move forward and grow the adoption of blockchain technology. The core activities of the BGA essentially revolve around networking, research and reporting, representing blockchain game companies, and advocating for blockchain in the game industry. And we've been growing as a pretty large family now with over 150 members, including blockchain games, obviously, as well as chains and protocol, press and media, games, developer studios, esport, and many others, investors, press, etc. So we're really excited to have companies from all various horizons that are members of the BGA, and together we're stronger. So I wanted also to give a big thanks to our sponsor, namely Ubisoft, Animoca Brands, ARC, who is here and will be presenting today with Justin, Galaxy Interactive, The Contribute, MakerDAO, Algorand, Chromia, Matic, AMD, and Mobox for their additional support to the BGA. We've been running interviews with various industry leaders and video game executives. We've been running workshops on various topics and thematics, including DeFi and gaming, DAOs, decentralized gaming, even legal aspects around NFTs and tokens. And we're here to provide more value to all our members. So if you have any idea of thematics, if you want to bring your or host your own event with the help of the BGA and its network, we can arrange that. Feel free to reach out to us. Every month we run, so it's been now, it's our 7th new member presentation. So every month we have a busy lineup showcasing a wide range of all the possibilities and all the actors in the industry that are, of course, members of the BGA. We offer free speaking opportunities at other conferences as well, and free tickets to attend those. Now most of them are all online. We've been dedicating also a series of events to women in the industry. And we've been running thematics, panels and talks on various thematics, more recently on NFTs and collecting NFTs involving the whales, the investors, the marketplace, the creators of NFTs, DeFi and NFTs, and many other variants around this topic. I wanted to give a big welcome and thank you for joining the BGA to the new members who joined in October. These include Blocklead Games, BCAS, Outlier Venture, Dvision Network, Super Rare, Cointelegraph, Gala Game, Well, Elite, I think we can say. I'm not. The logo is cool. I'm not sure how to read it yet. I'll learn. And the greatest of all time interactive entertainment as well. And let's jump without any further ado with the presentation from the members. So on our agenda, we think we have Outlier Venture normally first, but if I don't see Scott among us, So while we look for Scott, I propose to just swap the order, and maybe if Justin is ready, I'll let Justin from arc.io begin with the first presentation today.
All right,
Hi,
thanks very
Justin.
much. Yeah, hi, how are you today?
Oh, great. So stage is yours. Tell us more about arc.io, and thank you for being a sponsor of the BGA.
Sure. And I'd also like to give a huge thanks for the opportunity to speak today. The BGA is actually a recent partner of MarketSquare, which is a product of arc.io. I'll touch on that just very briefly, but today I want to talk about the Arc blockchain platform, the Arc blockchain framework, and the tools that Arc offers to developers who want to integrate blockchain technology into games. Now, my room looks like this because I run the YouTube channel for Arc at youtube.arc.io. So you can check out videos and learn more about Arc there. Let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. And is my screen shared now?
Yep,
Yes.
I'm adding it to the stream. Here it is.
All right. So we like to describe Arc as the simplest way to blockchain because everything we do is based around bringing ease of use to users and developers who want to dive into blockchain technology. A little bit about the company. The official name for the business entity that helps maintain the open source code base is Arc Ecosystem SCIC, which is a business entity that formed in late 2017, but the project started in late 2016, actually. And since then, we've had over 350,000 installs by over 120,000 followers using our 8 products and executing over 4 million transactions from over 136,000 wallet addresses. Since I'm talking about the business entity, I wanted to let you all know that we are hiring. We have 6 open positions right now. You can learn more about them on our website and apply to any of them at jobs@arc.io. So at the heart of the Arc ecosystem is the Arc public network. This is a very lean and fast, scalable blockchain network that runs on delegated proof of stake with very fast block times of 8 seconds. And 51 active delegates are in charge of reaching consensus, adding new blocks, and generating new Arc coins. Users can use the Arc in their wallets to vote for delegates, and this is how we can achieve decentralization and scalability at the same time. Our consensus mechanism has some tweaks to the delegated proof of stake mechanism that take away some of the negative aspects of the consensus mechanism that we've seen with other projects. The public network runs a crypto asset called Arc. Now, since we're talking about the network, I wanted to actually just briefly touch on the exchanges that Arc is on because the primary purpose of the Arc public network is to act as an on and off ramp for the Arc ecosystem, which actually consists of multiple standalone interoperable blockchains. So it's not like Ethereum or Tron where everything is running on one network. Arc has a multi-chain approach where developers and communities can get sovereignty as well as scalability by having their own chain and control their own developmental future. So when developers choose Arc to work with and launch their own customized chain for their use case, they can rest assured that the on-off asset is available on over 3 dozen exchanges. This is not investment advice. But Arc is more than just a network. It's actually a platform consisting of multiple products and projects that both developers and users can enjoy. I like to start off with the flagship product of the platform, the Arc Desktop Wallet. We have a sterling reputation in the industry for having one of the best, coolest wallets that is very easy to use. It launches instantly with no need to sync, and users can vote and stake while offline, so they don't have to have it running all the time, which is very convenient. It's also compatible with hardware wallet devices, the Ledger Nano S. To complement the desktop wallet, we have a mobile wallet as well. Many of the same features as the desktop wallet, but you can do all of that on the go. We also have a very simple and easy to understand and use Block Explorer. The Arc Explorer allows users to track balances, see delegate activity, view the vote weights, the voting power of all of the delegates, and search through the blockchain very simply. We think that it's much better than some other explorers that have to deal with things like the UTXOs, like on the Bitcoin network. So ease of use, simplicity, these are our core values right here. Now, Arc is also built for developers because our goal is to provide a set of tools that developers can use very quickly and easily in order to deploy custom blockchain solutions or integrate blockchain into their existing practices and processes. We do this through the Arc blockchain framework, which is a collection of libraries. It's a code base that developers can use that's authored in TypeScript in order to do all of these things. Now, the framework also comes with SDKs as well, popular language SDKs that allows developers to interact with their new chain or the Arc public network in their language of choice, be it Python, be it C++, or other popular languages. And since we're on the topic of SDKs, we've also recently released what we call Platform SDK, which is the easiest way for developers to interact with popular blockchain networks such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and over 8 more, and do this using a simple API instead of using the native methods of those blockchains, because we found that there's a big pain point for developers getting into blockchain technology who have a tough time getting around the complex methods that popular blockchains have to do things like find transaction histories or return other data that's on the chain. Our framework is backed up by documentation, extensive documentation that covers all of our aspects, all of the products, all of the projects, all of the SDKs. If you're an exchange that wants to list Arc, we have specific documentation for that. And we even have programs and incentives for developers. Like, for example, the Arc Grants program, which can award developers with up to 10,000 USD worth of Arc for developing using Arc technology. Now, another cool thing about our Arc framework is the big question, which is how do we handle smart contracts? Of course, this is a big thing that's going on. Ethereum brought smart contracts to the space. But what we're doing is we're actually turning them on their head by deploying what we call Arc Logic. This allows developers to create Arc smart transactions using TypeScript instead of using a custom language. They can use a language that they're already familiar with, and they can create these smart transactions discreetly, where they each do a very specific thing. It's not Turing complete, which means that it's much less prone to security vulnerabilities. Now, I talked earlier about how Arc is a multi-chain ecosystem, and we have all these tools for developers to customize their chain with custom transaction logic. However, we need a quick way for developers to deploy a chain at the beginning, to create a chain and deploy it onto nodes. It's not an easy task. Well, for years, we've been working on making it easier because that's our main goal here. So what we have developed is what we call Deployer, and we're releasing a new version of this product during Q4 that allows you to deploy a chain in one click, and it will automatically go onto VPS instances using services such as DigitalOcean, and you can customize your chain with over 36 customizable parameters, so you can make the chain truly your own. This is a very helpful tool to help onboard developers onto the ecosystem. Also, at the beginning, I talked about how BGA is a recent partner of MarketSquare. MarketSquare is the new homepage for the decentralized web, and it's kind of like a cooler version of LinkedIn for the cryptoverse that allows blockchains, businesses, delegates, and developers of applications to discover each other and forge relationships and get their products out there, their services out there. That's what MarketSquare is all about. That's coming soon during Q4. You can sign up for the public beta mailing list at marketsquare.io. I'd like to close this presentation with a live use case example of game developers using Arc technology. If you go to our YouTube channel at youtube.arc.io, you can find a video there where I play 5 different games powered by Arc technology, developed and deployed by one of the delegates of the Arc public network. Arc.io does not run the Arc public network. It's run by the public, and delegates run additional community services. There's a delegate called Delegate Fun that's developed these games, and it interacts with the Arc public network where you can win Arc daily for playing these games, and you can also play with other people directly. And I play a game with Dean Van Dugteren, CEO and founder of Compendia Network, built on Arc Core, and interview him a little bit about the network. Dean loves to speak very highly about Arc. He does that on my podcast at podcast.arc.io. He really likes the framework and using TypeScript and just the way that it's all easily set up. You can find Arc everywhere on the internet. All of our social links are available down here in the lower right corner. And it looks like we have 1 minute for questions. And I'd like to thank you very much for your time and attention.
Great. Thank you, Justin, for this presentation. It's good to see, you're still here, yep. Good to see at the last part as well, a concrete example of game. It's too bad we didn't see the game live, like it was a screenshot and we couldn't see.
Right.
Like, can you tell us maybe what's the most popular game on the platform? Like any good story to share on that one?
Sure. So I don't personally have the statistics or metrics on which of these games is the most popular because they're not developed in-house via Arc.io. They're developed by a third-party developer. However, my personal favorite game actually is the 4 in a row game. It's similar to Connect 4, where it's like a more complex version of tic-tac-toe, and it's blockchain powered. So every move is a transaction. And the cool thing about this game is that it's turn-based. So you don't both have to be sitting there. You can execute your transaction, run your move, and then wait however long it takes for the other person to respond. So I think that's a very good example of a simple way to implement blockchain technology into a game that regular gamers can understand, and it's not too complicated. Because right now, even though we're 10 years into this decentralized revolution, blockchain technology is still pretty complex for regular people to understand. So to get their feet wet with these simpler games, I think is a great stepping stone to get people into the more complex blockchain powered games, which I'm very excited to play in the near future or even today, as I'm sure many are available.
Excellent. Well, good to hear. It's good to know there's asynchronous games that I remember all Draw Something and all the mobile games that were really popular at some time. It's the same type of game. So great to see now there are games with blockchain technology involved behind that runs on Arc.io platform. All right. So now let's move to the next presentation and member. I think we have Scott now with us. Hey, Scott. How are you?
I'm good, guys. Sorry I'm late. Time zones, man. Who knew? It
happens. No worry. We run the show, no problem. So, do you want to share any slide with us on your screen
so we can start? I'll just talk about Outlier and I guess kind of what we're up to, and then we can dive into. I believe we've got some time for Q&A at the end, which is normally the more interesting part of these things, rather than listening to me drone on. So hopefully many of you are familiar with Outlier. We've been knocking around since 2013, investing in sort of like DLT, AI, IoT, in sort of various protocol layer, middleware, and also up at the application. Some of our portfolio you might have heard of. We're into guys like Fetch, Ocean, Enigma. And then more recently, and I guess more relevantly for the Blockchain Game Alliance crowd, is that last year we started running an accelerator program called Basecamp, which invests in sort of like pre-seed companies in the space. And we made our first investment, or rather we had our come to the moment of truth with the metaverse early this year. And we're looking at investing in more sort of, whether it be games or infrastructure, or kind of more around the concept of how we live online and what that kind of exists in. The program's set up to be a 5-month program. We run it virtually, so open for applications all over the world. I guess the reason that we kind of like the intersection of how like the metaverses play together, and then also like blockchain and DLT, is like the idea of ownership, like fairness, these kind of in-game currencies. It gets really interesting, particularly as we see now the boom of NFTs. I'm sure the hype is real and it's still to play out. So it'll be interesting to see how this impacts gaming. It's an area that we're looking at the moment for our next cohort. We currently have applications live till the end of today. And then we'll be making announcements in the next couple of weeks about the next program. That's just a short introduction to us at Outlier. Does anyone have any, I guess, questions about who we are, what we do, or the program itself?
Well, you mentioned the applications were ending soon. When is the exact date for applying for those who are watching us today and want to be supported by a Basecamp program from Outlier Ventures?
Tomorrow. We extended the time by a day. They've been open for the last 6 weeks. We've had about 170 teams, he says, quickly looking, because that's what he was doing before he joined, apply. We're probably seeing around 10% of those in gaming. We'd love to see more. Whether that's gaming within metaverses, whether you're creating your own stuff, whether you're providing tools for developers. There's a whole host. It's a broad church at Outlier.
Pretty impressive. 160 companies applied and 10% in games. That's a huge number. It shows like there's a lot of people and teams building product of the future.
Oh yeah.
Was it hard to come down to that final selection? And when can we see the announcement?
The next final selection should come out in the next couple of weeks. Coming down. I think it's a really interesting one, looking at the gaming sector and the applications that we see. There's so many people working at the cutting edge of gaming that it really, gets tricky to kind of take a house view on where the future of it actually exists. Obviously, keen to work with guys like yourself, Seb, and the folks over at Somnium, etc. So it's interesting not only what is built around these places, but also inside of it. I've seen more than one IKEA for the metaverse in the last couple of months.
Definitely. Well, it's really looking exciting, and I'm glad that it grows. Every new season of the program, there's more application, and it's probably because just the industry getting more mature, the underlying infrastructure and different middlewares that helps build all those new games and products on top of it are finally coming to fruition. So it's great.
Yeah, big time.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I can see one question from the audience. Maybe we'll take 1 more minute to answer this one.
Sure. So Brian, we haven't actually made any investments directly into blockchain games yet. We've kind of invested in things which are used by blockchain games or are looking into that, but we haven't made any commitments into the actual games themselves. Not saying we wouldn't do it. We're just kind of looking for the right opportunity there that makes sense. We think there's probably a bit of infrastructure that needs to be built up before there's an opportunity for lots of blockchain games to go mainstream.
Scott, hi, it's Yakov here. And how does the number of applicants vary between the base camps? So how has the number been changing, and the ratio between gaming projects versus others between the base camps?
Yeah, great question. Gaming is becoming increasingly an area that we see applications in. I think that's because we have quite a broad view on gaming. Like, it's not just logging in and playing a game. We kind of view it as digital life online, which really opens up the scope to see different opportunities come in. I'd say that this time last year, we weren't really seeing any interest inbound from startups in blockchain and gaming. And that has dramatically changed.
Good to hear.
It's a good time for the space.
Definitely. It's a great time to be in the space. All right. Thanks, Scott, for this presentation of Outlier Ventures. And everyone, you heard from the guy. It's the last day to submit your application for a chance of raising with Outlier Ventures. All right, we are going to go with our next company who joined us this month. It's Gamma Law. We have David Hoppe with us. David, are you here?
I'm here, yes. Hello.
Hello, hello. So quick word of introduction before you start presenting us Gamma Law. It's quite interesting because David and myself have known for many, many years, even before we were actually involved in blockchain. So it's a great coincidence. I'm really glad to see you now today as part of the BGA as well.
Thank you, Sebastien, and I'm really excited to be part of the Blockchain Games Alliance. I was excited to learn that such an organization existed. And as I'll mention in a moment here, our firm essentially is we've been in the video game space for many years, and that's of course how Sebastien and I originally connected. And then in the last, say, 5 years or so, I developed a real strong personal interest in blockchain, and it seemed like a natural place to go, given that we have a really strong background in our team in securities regulatory and related regulatory issues, which of course are very important in this space. And at some point, we found that the blockchain practice and the video games practice began to converge, which was sort of a surprise to me, and really exciting, actually, because these are really interesting projects, really interesting clients that we're working with, and great to see now that blockchain games has its own organization, especially with such capable leadership. So I'll go ahead and share my screen here for this short introduction to who we are at Gamma Law. We are based in San Francisco. Sorry, I'm not a pro here. I'm getting a little window, my entire screen. Is that going to work? Share, okay.
Yeah, it's coming here. Perfect.
All right, perfect, okay. Actually, that means I need to now put up my slides. All right, so there we go. Is that working? Yes, yeah. All right. So we are based in San Francisco. First of all, a word about me. So I am a senior lawyer, having been practicing for over 25 years now. Started my career with 2 large law firms based in LA, Tokyo, Scandinavia, New York City. Then came out during the dot-com boom and was international counsel for a NASDAQ-listed internet portal. And then finally launched my own practice, which is now 16, 17 years ago, focused on industry verticals that I thought were interesting. And over a period of years, much of that practice has been in the game space, as we'll talk in a moment. But we've added other complementary areas, including esports, VR, AR, digital entertainment, and of course now blockchain. So quick look at our team here. We are now 9 lawyers in San Francisco and elsewhere, actually. We have a Japanese counsel relationship. One of my colleagues is based in Europe. He's a New York lawyer, working with him on a daily basis. We're sort of the, I would say the model remote team in many ways. We're servicing clients in different time zones, and essentially you could say that we are working with European clients, we're working with Asian clients, we're working with US clients, pretty much, almost 24 hours a day. A short video here to introduce our firm. So just a word then about our video game specialty practice, because this has been the focus of our practice, as I mentioned, for a number of years. We worked on all platforms, worked on some of the biggest games in mobile, including the Smurfs, Snoopy, Shrek, a variety of other games incorporating the world's sort of highest value IPs. And much of this is cross-border in scope. Recently, we've developed a specialty in real money compliance issues. These are real money skill-based games, and this involves a fair amount of support for these games to be successfully and safely offered in the United States, as many of you may know, and this relates directly to blockchain games as well. Many of these blockchain games, there needs to be an analysis done of the states in which the game is going to be offered to make sure that you fall within the regulations that permit skill-based games for money and don't run afoul of the gambling regulations, which of course can carry serious penalties, including criminal penalties. Our blockchain specialty practice today involves working with companies in the game space in particular. Our principal client in the space now is a blockchain virtual world. It's quite successful and involves real money. So there's a variety of issues that we are supporting them with. Securities compliance is a space that I would say, unlike many other law firms in this space, we have real significant experience. Personally, I spent the first part of my career on finance transactions, securities based in New York City, Tokyo, and elsewhere. My colleagues as well have started their careers and been trained at the world's premier law firms, Sullivan Cromwell, Skadden Arps, and other firms. So we're well equipped to bring to clients in this space not just an understanding of blockchain and how it works, but also an in-depth understanding of how financial markets work, how securities regulations are interpreted and enforced, and how we can support our clients to make sure that they can safely and profitably offer their games in the United States. So as I mentioned, it was sort of serendipitous that our practice evolved initially as a video games practice, largely with a parallel blockchain practice. And then here in the last 2 or 3 years, we have seen those practices converge and really bring us some very interesting work for very interesting clients. We're committed to these clients, and we are committed to seeing this space continue to expand. You know, it's unfortunate that so many of the most interesting blockchain games companies feel that it's not safe to offer in the United States, and they are justifiably concerned about the ambiguity in the regulations and the risk of penalties if they are to be the subject of an SEC investigation, let's say, or an investigation or penalties from the 3 or 4 other federal agencies that have their fingers in the pot when it comes to blockchain compliance. So this is a problem, and this is something that's holding back development of the space, and it's a problem for many of us here on this call, because there are great opportunities in the United States. There's a growing public acceptance and interest in blockchain. And the gamer audience, of course, is consistently first movers, and we're seeing that in blockchain as well. These are people who are interested in your game; they want to play your game, but a lot of them are just not going to put up with too much friction in terms of onboarding, in terms of how they make payments. So we are here to help companies resolve that issue and access the U.S. market. And I think that we've been quite successful at that with our clients to date. Securities compliance, money transfer regulations, real money, gambling regulations, these are all areas that we're working with on a daily basis. Sorry, I think I'm going the wrong direction here. Anyway, so that's the end of my presentation here, and happy to take any questions, and certainly happy to talk with you informally, if you wish, about your particular situation and what we might be able to do to help you enter and grow your business within the United States.
Thank you, David. Thank you for the presentation. Can you name any client, if it's not confidential, more specifically in blockchain or blockchain gaming, that you've advised regarding maybe the nature of their token, whether they are utility or security, or maybe how they could legally and legitimately sell their NFT in specific jurisdiction of the world, like maybe the US, without any risk? Is this the kind of advice service that you've been providing or you're providing already?
We are. So, principally, we're working with clients with NFTs, and in some cases, a number of different types of NFTs and in-game currencies, and how can this be structured to reduce the risk that the SEC might find that this is a security. Often there's some creativity that has to be brought into the analysis, and there's an understanding of how the SEC has ruled in similar situations, and what we might be able to do to reduce the risk for our clients if the SEC was to to focus on their particular model. But yeah, I mean, our principal focus recently certainly has been in the area of NFTs of various types and flavors, some tradable, some not.
Okay, great. Well, we now know a good contact within the BGA if you're a developer, you're a studio that's involved in NFT space and tokens, and have some question regarding specific jurisdiction like US or Europe or even Japan, as Gamalo has like a global presence. Very cool. We're going to move to our next company and presenter now. It is Second Legion with John Paris, the co-founder. John, are you with us?
I'm here. Hello.
All cool. Do you want to share your screen as well?
How do I do that? I think
there will be a share screen button at the bottom around the center. Cool.
It says that I'm sharing. So.
Yeah. All right. I see it. Perfect.
Okay. Cool.
You can go present and it will go excellent.
Thanks, everyone. I wish I had a cool setup like Justin did, but I'm hiding out in my basement. And I've got my jungle gym that my kids climb on during the day. So it's a pandemic, though. What can we do? Anyway, thank you very much. Very glad to be here and tell you about what we're up to. I'm going to provide sort of a quick overview of what we do. And then at the end, I want to talk about a new project that we're going to be releasing next month. So we're game developers that are really focused on blockchain innovation and specifically NFT exploration and possibilities for how to expand and build new use cases for NFTs inside of gaming. We do bring our own games to market. We had a game called Caesar's Triumph. But we also work with larger companies who are looking to sort of leverage our knowledge of the space and some of the solutions that we've built to integrate their properties with the blockchain. One of those partners is Block League Games and Turner Sports, who are going to be talking about the game a little bit later today. Before I sort of get into what it is we do specifically, I think it's important really just to talk about why we do this. I'm sure we probably share a lot of the same values as the folks that are listening here and who are speaking today, but we really believe at our core that NFTs and blockchain are going to be a disruptive force in gaming. We really recognize, that the value exchange between game companies and players can be a two-way street. And we know we're still early as an industry, but we really believe that consumer demand is going to start to shift more towards these value-creating games. And really anyone who's working or experimenting in this space right now is just in a really great position. Second, we're a very solution-oriented team, and we do think about a lot about how blockchain can address challenges outside of gaming, and that's actually where, as a company, we started. But the world isn't fully there yet for a lot of these decentralized solutions, whether it's due to a lack of knowledge from consumers and from companies, or just really overcoming a lot of sort of the regulatory hurdles that David actually alluded to earlier. But gaming in and of itself is sort of a safe space for innovation. You're sort of testing in a lower stakes environment. That's not to say that there aren't people who are spending decent amount of money investing in these game assets, but it is a little bit more of a safer space. And gaming can really lead the way for solutions and ideas that we're eventually going to see in the real world. And then finally, it's fun. We love it. Games are fun. We're highly serious about the economic side of games and the value creation side. And we've spent a lot of time talking about economic models and game economies, but we really also treasure the intrinsic motivation for playing games, and we don't lose sight of that. So I'm going to just highlight some of the solutions we've built. They're really applicable to a lot of different games, and so I'm going to kind of gloss over some of them, but happy to talk more in a bit. First, I want to talk about the NFTs that we've built, and one of the factors that go into the value of NFTs is scarcity, right? It's one of 100, one of 5,000. No matter what that number is, how many of those actually exist in the world. And that's just one factor, right? So with Block League Games and with Turner Sports, what we wanted to do is develop a way for the value of an NFT to increase that's really driven by player actions. So you actually play the game. So if you take, CryptoKitties, like the most well-known standard out there for NFTs, you can create new tokens that use the kitty DNA in creating this new token. With our game, you actually improve your golfer's DNA. So the DNA changes the more you play. And so the more you play, the more medals you earn, and you can actually increase the value of your token because now your golfer can hit the ball farther or it's more accurate. On a sort of related note to that, one of the things we did with this game is we were the first game to use this new upgradable standard. It's ERC 1538. It's now called the Diamond Standard, and we're seeing more companies start to use this. But essentially what this allows for is it gives us as developers the ability to improve upon an existing NFT contract. And essentially it allows for an infinite contract size. So as the game continues to grow, we may want to add new functions to that NFT contract so that it can actually do more stuff or give more value back to the players. And because we've built it on the standard, we are able to do that. Just yesterday, we launched a new payout smart contract for esports tournaments. So with Block League Games, when tournaments are launched, prize money is stored, the results of the tournaments and the payouts are written to the smart contract. Winnings are stored there at the wallet address, and they're also paid out directly from the smart contract. So if you win a tournament, there's going to be no middleman for collecting your winnings. You just hit a button on our site, which calls the smart contract. It finds your address and it sends you your winnings. I'm sure David might have questions about that, and actually probably have questions for David about how we can extend this out to other games, allow people to launch their own tournaments. So there's a lot of ways to extend this beyond just the company launching their own tournaments, but allowing people to create their own tournaments themselves and even like fund it with some prize money. One of the things we did for this game, and Yang and Shayna will talk about this, I'm sure, but we really wanted to make a skill-based game, one that's not based on like rock, paper, scissors type of structure, but one that like kind of looks and feels like the games that casual gamers play. And so with Block League Golf, we built the game on Play Canvas, and so we are bringing in on-chain data into this sort of off-chain environment. So when you come into the game, you're playing with your NFT. No one else is going to be able to play with the NFT that you own. So that's pretty cool, and it creates this really fun game in this that really complements the value creation side that's happening outside of actually like tapping the screen or clicking the screen to try to hit your shot far and straight. There are a lot of onboarding tools. From the very start, we, like a lot of people, have recognized the challenge of onboarding users to the blockchain. And so we developed a custody wallet onboarding solution that is extremely straightforward for users who are not familiar with blockchain. So we essentially issue a token to this custody address that we assign to a user when they come in to start playing the game, if they don't have their own wallet to start with. And then when the user is ready to either sell their golfer or collect tournament prize money, basically when they really need to interact with the blockchain, then we do a little bit of hand-holding for them, and we sort of coach them into getting their own wallet and transfer everything. But it's a nice way to introduce people to the blockchain, because they may not be coming here thinking, I want to own an NFT and I want to see its value increase, but instead they might think, oh, this looks like a fun golf game and I want to play it. So this solution works really well for that. And finally, one solution that's maybe a little less sexy for gamers, but super important for most, should be for many companies, but especially larger companies that we work with. We developed an end-to-end real-time blockchain analytics reporting integration into Google Analytics and Amplitude, two of the bigger analytics tracking platforms that are out there. So essentially what we're able to do is bring on-chain data into Google Analytics, which allows our partners to monitor results and track campaigns and see really all that on-chain data into in their regular, or the analytics platforms that they're used to. All right, finally, I'm super excited about this. And this is a new project that we're going to be launching very soon here in the next few weeks. This all sort of started with a thought experiment where we were thinking about, what if the NFT is the game? Most blockchain games, the NFT is are these game assets, and you can buy multiple versions of it. And like in Block League Golf, you can own multiple golfers, you can own multiple CryptoKitties or multiple plots of land and Sandbox, right? So there's lots of games like that. We were thinking, like, what if the NFT is the game? And we at the same time we're really paying attention to what was happening in the NFT and digital art community. And so we were thinking, what if we could create an art piece that was also a standalone, fully functioning game? And it's kind of a seemingly random idea, but the more we started thinking about it, the more excited we got. And the more we talked to people, they were excited as well. And so we're really excited because we're going to be releasing the first one of these boards, like I said, sometime in November. But the way this is going to work is we're going to partner with artists and designers and brands to create these collectibles. And the first set of games that we're going to be launching are going to be darts. So the dart board itself is this rare board. Now, the first artist that we're working with is a lot of money. And if you are familiar with the digital art in blockchain space, like a lot of money is sort of one of these OG crypto artists. His stuff is awesome. I highly encourage you to go check it out. But he essentially created this dartboard for us, right? It's this board that sits on top of this really cool canvas. You can't, I don't know how well it's like coming through on here, but like it's an MP4 and there's dollar bills flying around and there's buildings in the back are sort of floating in and out of focus. But we're gonna basically sell this piece of art. And so what we're kind of doing is we're creating function more like what I said at the beginning, like what our focus is. We're creating functionality to NFTs. And so we're trying to basically create something new for folks. And so at the very least, right, if someone were to purchase this board, they'd have this awesome art piece in to hang, to share. It's a one of one, but you can also play darts on it, which is kind of fun and cool. And you can invite your friends to play darts on it. In addition, what we're having, what a lot of money is going to do is he's going to create these collectible darts that allow people to play on the board from anywhere. And there's going to be a whole rarity to those darts as well. There are still a lot of details we are working through, but we're super excited about this project. And like I said, the more people we speak to about this and the closer we get to actually releasing it, we see that excitement is really is shared among collectors and artists and people who just want to play a fun game. So we're going to be releasing the board to play test in the next few weeks. If you're not familiar with it, there's a big event that the Token Smart community is launching called Metalympics. It's going to be starting in November, and we're going to be a featured event for that. We're going to be auctioning off this rare board in December, most likely. And then the plan for now is to keep expanding into new artists and new collections in 2021. So it's a fun experiment, and we think we think people are going to really like it, and we're really excited to see what new creations artists can develop. So that's it for me right now. Check us out on our website or Twitter, and happy to answer any questions that folks might have.
Thank you, John. Wow, that's super impressive. A lot of things that are new in the space. I never heard about this new standard, ERC 1538, but I do feel like it makes a lot of sense to have upgradable NFTs that change as you acquire more skills in game and then make them more valuable as you play. I think it's very aligned with the idea of play to earn. So let's keep that in mind, and I'm sure I will involve you in one of our future panel on the topic of play to earn, as it really, really relate to that. And well, maybe, and I'm looking forward also to the Alota Money darts art and what you'll do with the community. So we'll follow up. Cool. And maybe it's a good transition now to talk about two projects that are coming up. One of them have been mentioned before, it's Blocklit Game. They are coming a little bit later, but now we have Brian with Dvision Network as well. And I'm sure that the play to earn will apply very well to both those projects. Brian, yeah, hey.
Nice. It's nice to meet you. I'm very pleased to be here, and I'm happy to hear that John having in mind, thank you for bringing up the topic of play to earn. I just wanted to briefly explain what is Dvision Network, but before that, I just wanted to briefly introduce the team itself. Let me share the screen.
Not seeing the screen yet. Here, perfect.
No, I was just. Okay, can you see that?
Yep.
Can you see the screen? Okay, so I'll just start off then. So basically, Dvision Network is the new reality on the blockchain. It's essentially is a blockchain-based VR content platform that powers also NFT ecosystem. And here in the Dvision Network, what we are trying to do is to create a balance between the hardware domain and the software domain. So we are trying to power as much as possible for content. And before that, before introduction, I just wanted to briefly talk about the the background of our team. So the Dvision Network has a nationwide network of VR franchises. In South Korea, we have like the parent companies, which is the Bad VR and the 9VR. And Bad VR itself has around 30 franchise stores, which have been established during 4 years. And the CEO of the Dvision Network has 17 years of an experience in doing the franchise businesses, with 2 VR technology patents already registered. So in the Dvision Network, in the beginning, the initial part of the the content ecosystem will be comprised of the games that were provided by the 9VR and the Bad VR, and in total we have more than 20 games that will be powered in the beginning. And also, besides the game, the portfolio will consist of the theme parks and also other pieces of content, which will actually position us not just as a gaming platform and the gaming metaverse in the blockchain system, but also as something where the metaverse can be quite customized and personalized, so that people can actually enjoy the metaverse according to their own vision. So at the current status, maybe you are aware about the MICE, which stands for the meetings, incentives, and conferences and events. It's kind of stopped. The whole industry has been shut because of the pandemic, and most people cannot actually participate in large scale kind of events. Let's say it's a job fair, whether it's going to be a sort of festival or hackathon. People cannot actually do this. And the parent companies of the Dvision Network, 9VR, are actually doing this through the MICE online exhibitions, and they are gathering more than 40,000 people. Only this year, around 52 countries. From the 52 countries, people participated in the BGA Korea, where like 40,000 people participated, and you can actually check it in the YouTube, and you will see how it works. But I'm going to show you the short video of how the metaverse looks and how the people can actually participate here in order to be a part of a bigger community, which people cannot actually do at this time. And because of this, we found in the Dvision Network, in the Dvision Network, we saw having a content ecosystem, not just a gaming ecosystem, is a quite essential thing for the people around the globe who are actually interested in the virtual reality, to be a part of a bigger community like Dvision Network. And coming to the platform of Dvision Network itself, I should say that we use the blockchain technology first of all in order to tackle the content ownership issue, thereby utilizing the NFT 721 and 1155 standards. And although I didn't, I wasn't previously aware of the Diamond standard, I'll probably be talking to the John after this meeting in order to understand these standards. Maybe we will also try to adopt it before we launch the platform itself. So here, people actually, what is really good about Dvision Network is you don't really have to have the VR hardware in order to participate in this metaverse. People can actually participate here using their desktop or the mobile phones, but the application will be launched by the end of the next year. So we hope that by that time, people can actually enjoy it through their PCs, notebooks, and different devices. So the Dvision Network essentially consists of 3 very important pillars. The first one is the VR market, which is essentially the NFT marketplace. It's a trading floor for the creators, users who are, they create an item, through the 3D modeling tool, which will be presented at the later stage when the VR market is launched. And we are hoping that the VR market will be ready by the next month, by the end of the next month. People can actually, customize, develop, and produce an item, and that item can actually be transformed to the transferred to the VR space, and through the VR space they can actually get it back to the NFT marketplace where they can trade it. We will be establishing a lot of secondary marketplaces with OpenSea, and we're in talks right now with Arcane Network in order to secure the liquidity for our NFT items, so that the users can actually monetize it, not just keep to the to the promise that we make. So, and the VR space is essentially about the customization of the virtual reality. And this place can be personalized according to the user's own preferences and overall vision. And the VR space will essentially be used for gaming experience, as I said, but not just a gaming experience. It will be a huge metaverse, and different themes can be adopted. Let's say it can be a theme park like Jurassic World. I don't know. It can be like education-based theme park. So it kind of powers different pieces of content, not just gaming. And VR City itself. Think of the VR City being a kind of aggregate of numerous VR spaces. So imagine like VR space. You have a building that you acquired. And you have like customized it, but there are also other users who bought their own lands and the spaces. I'm sorry, and by customizing it, they are all making and powering a public VR world, which is a city. Just think of a building as a part of a city, and just a collection of buildings as a big city. And business model and token economy of the Dvision network is quite simple. In the VR market, it's people are using DVI tokens in order to go through the NFT item trading. And the second, in VR space, they use it in order to acquire and customize the space. And in the VR city, because it's going to be a public VR world, people will be running advertisements, and it's going to give them a very huge visibility. So talking about the strengths and competitiveness of the Dvision network, and in overall talking about our value proposition, I just wanted to notice what kind of issues we're addressing. So first of all, due to the recognition of the ongoing crisis over the content ownership in the current VR and also gaming market, we understood there is a fallacy of centralized ownership over the user-generated content, which limits the rights and ownership claims over it. So basically, we kind of recognize that the users are underadvantaged in terms of like having a claim over their own item that they have been working on creating. So that's why using ERC 721, ERC 1155 standards, we're trying to protect the user-generated NFT items. And essentially, they will have the assets, liquid assets, hopefully, in order to trade them in the marketplace. The second thing, it's just about the balance between the VR, hardware and software. And we know that the companies like Sony and Oracle, they are working very hard in order to produce a lot of hardware outputs. But in the same, consensus, the output of the software, which is the content part, is not developing in the same, pace. So that's why we're trying to contribute to this part, and we believe with the passage of time, there will be a lot of opportunities for the VR, hardwares, because there will be a lot of software that will be created by the companies like Dvision Network. And we also the value proposition part of the Dvision Network is just we realize that the gaming market economy is not fair in terms of sometimes people who make some assets in the game, they cannot actually trade it in the market easily, or they are obliged to go to the black markets in order to gain 50% of their the value of their assets. So Dvision Network will not actually limit them to the DVI native token, but we will also be like powering the partners tokens and coins in our payment system, so that the users will be will easily bring their MetaMask wallets, use them, and they will be easily participating in the token economy of the Dvision network without being, disadvantaged in terms of the payment units. So I literally talked about it. The first thing is a downturn of the MICE industry due to the COVID pandemic. This is one success factor, which is bringing a lot of traffic to the virtual reality. The second is the recognition that with the advancement of the VR technological side, the software side will also be prospering. And the third thing, maybe everyone in the blockchain sphere, everybody heard about the advancing NFT item ecosystem and the soaring sales and after the DeFi, there is a DeFi NFT going on. So that's why we believe that the ecosystem of the NFT side will be also prospering with the passage of time. The product itself, let me just show you briefly the product that Dvision network is actually powering. That's the demo version. This is the demo version. So in order not to take the time of the other presenters, I just briefly showed how the VR space could actually look, and it will look. It's still under the development, and we are doing the elaborations on the platform itself. But that's basically how we customize the place, and through this kind of customization, we can actually adopt a big, large-scale blockchain-related events or job fairs and different kind of thematics in order to adopt MICE online exhibitions and all this stuff. So basically, this is about our partnering projects, but that's for the other presenters. If you are interested on how we technologically and from the business perspective, also like partnering with the top companies, top projects in the blockchain sphere, I would be happy to jump on discussion privately on that. So thank you for having us. Thank you for listening my speech.
Thank you so much, Brian. It's really great to see the VR space taking shape here. I can't wait to see the same with hundreds of players around in the future. So I guess it's part of your roadmap.
Yes, actually, I just wanted to tell them about the discussion. Can I actually bring the topic that we discussed from the sandbox? It's just the feature that we are also developing, the interoperability of the assets, like the NFT items that we are actually trying to develop, and the users. We are trying to give them the opportunity to bring the NFT items that were created, let's say, on the other the project, which also powers the NFT ecosystem. Let's say the sandbox, the people who created through the voxel model. The people who created NFT items through the voxel model will be trying to support the interoperability of that item in the Dvision network. So it's someone who brought up a product in the sandbox, they can bring it to the Dvision. And with Sebastien, we were talking about it like 2 weeks ago probably, and our developers are currently working on this as well. So there are tons of things that we are trying to do in the Dvision network. But one thing that we are very, excited about is that the NFT ecosystem is growing, and with that, the VR also growing the same strain, and that's a good sign for us to be here, to be in this pace. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Really exciting, by the way, indeed, to work on open metaverses where NFT made on one platform can be used across several others. That's one of the strong ideas that many actors, many open virtual worlds are pushing in the space, Omnium space among our members, Crypto Voxel, Decentraland. sandbox as well, and glad to count Dvision Network as part of it. And well, now we're running a little bit late on our agenda, so I'm going to move forward to #CIB with Yakov. Hey, Yakov, are you with us?
Yes. Yeah, hi, everyone.
Hello. Ready to share your slide and tell us about your product?
Yep.
Sounds cool.
Just one sec.
And yeah.
See. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, just one.
Cool. And we'll have 2 more presenters until we run at the end of the event. It will be Turner Sports, so a little bit more patience. Let's try to run it in 10 minutes exactly, so we can fit and end on time today's event.
Sounds good. Can you see the presentation?
Perfect. Not yet.
And now? Okay, let's see. Oh, it's, sorry, the privacy restrictions. Just one sec.
All right. So are you ready, or should we move to the next speaker and you come back while you solve the privacy restriction? It's a bit annoying from Chrome. Okay. So then if Young is with us.
Yes, yep. I am here.
Would you be ready on your side to jump in as we are live and these things can happen?
I am.
Cool. Well, yeah, then the stage is yours, Yang. Let's start.
Excellent. Well, again, thank you for having us. We're excited about it. Shayna and I will walk everyone through in terms of how what we're doing on Block League Games. We're really excited about the way that it's going, and as John mentioned to you earlier, they've been working with us in terms of getting this set up with the the diamond standard for our block leads. And if I can, I'll just see if I can share my screen. Actually, I'm going to talk through as I share this. But so essentially, Block League Games, and there we go, getting up and running. Block League Games. What we envision here is really diving into the ecosystem of block lead NFT ownership, and we think it's a really exciting way of where the technology is going to go. And we want to walk you through a little bit what we're doing on Block League Golf. As what was mentioned earlier, we are part of Turner Sports. We're really excited about leaning in with a lot of the what Turner Sports can bring to the table. But one of the things that we have been trying to balance and think about is how do we, lean into the IP and some of the things that we're able to bring to the table, while at the same time building, the foundation of the future in gaming. I came from the media world in which, when things went online and started streaming, a lot of video companies just took what they had in terms of their legacy content and just tried to stream it online, and that didn't work. It wasn't native to the space. And so we're building from the ground up here something that's a bit more native to the space so that we can really make sure that we're adding value to the ecosystem. I loved what Scott said earlier about it's more than just building a game, but it's building sort of that life online, of which we're looking at sports in this space. And we think there's really interesting ways of doing that, of which we are trying to push the envelope in terms of doing it here on Block League Golf. We really believe, as with everyone, that crypto and NFT gaming is building the future. It's really building the future where things are going, and there's a lot of exciting opportunities that we have in mind that we want to unveil in terms of what we think can happen within the game. And one thing I'm always very mindful of, coming from my background in space, is that we many times have seen in the evolution of technologies that we get enamored by the technology, and we forget the human quality of why the technology gets actually adopted. There's history of technologies that have been better than other technologies, but just have not taken hold in the consumer's mind. And we are looking to really focus in on that aspect of it, so that we are delivering NFT, crypto, blockchain technology in a way that's really endemic, it leans into how consumers will be using it as we move into the future of, as many of us have talked about here, the metaverse. And one of those things, one of the key objectives for us and the core value that we want to make sure that we're bringing, is that we want to empower, create economic empowerment for gamers. It's through these aligned incentives that we think that really builds strong, long-lasting player-based economies. And we really are looking to build that out in a way that lends itself to both being exciting and fun, but at the same time, it also really creates an ecosystem that the ownership that NFT allows benefits the owners in a way that's new and different, and changes the industry in a way that it's not currently being done. So in that, part of it I'll leave in this last bullet here before I jump into the game itself, is that we don't feel, with Block League Golf, that we're competing against other golf games. Yes, it is a golf game in which we are building, and we're hoping that everyone is enjoying it and having fun. And please, jump onto blockleaguegames.com and take a look at it. But for us, it's more than just the game. It is, the game is there, sort of stay, come for the game, stay for the, player-based economy. We really want to create a space in which the empowerment goes to those users. So it's a different value proposition than, I would say, the straight games that are out there today, and which are great, but just different in terms of value proposition that we are offering. And so I'm going to jump to our marketplace, and as I mentioned, Shayna is on the team here, and we'll walk you through a little bit how we're thinking and building, taking our first step in building out what is the current evolution of our game and marketplace. As you can see here, there are levels in terms of our golfers that we have set up. You can come into the marketplace and take a look at the types of golfers that are available in the marketplace that just updated just now as we're on site. And there are, it looks like we have another elite golfer that just popped in there, which are pretty rare. If you look at our, categories, we have novice, pro, elite, and legend golfers, and their skills increase as they go up, and as well as their rarity and their, and obviously the price as well. And so really creating a game economy in which there's value both in the kind of golfer that you pick, but also your ability to play within the game and your skill set in the game. We, in our first season, we have capped how many Block Leagues golfers that we will have. We're at 2,000 for season 1. We're currently in our tournament phase, so there's a lot of tournament play just started yesterday, of which we will be continuing across the next few weeks. And in that tournament competition, there's opportunities to win prize money and be top of the leaderboard. And just another thing about our marketplace, we not only have sales that we are doing initially that are going to be the initial 2,000 that we will be selling, but we also have a peer-to-peer in which there's a resale market of which users can level up their golfer potentially, or if they want to sell their golfer into the marketplace. I see legends that are really rare. Someone has put up a legend for resale in the market because they were lucky enough to scoop it up while it was available. So it creates an opportunity for immediate, appreciation of the golfer if someone wanted to resell it in the market. And I won't go deep into the game itself right now, but I just want to show, so there's different levels of the games that can be played from beginner to pro. And if I just pop open the course for a second here, you can see that where and how you can play the game. Will be eventually continue to build out additional courses as we move forward, so you can get a chance to see how the gameplay is. And so by all means, we would love users to come in and try it out and play the game and enjoy the gameplay that we have there. The other thing that I would mention slightly before I, open it up to a little bit of questions and to Shayna as well, is that, one of the things that we are looking to, the future of how we think this is going is we are leaning into really empowering our gamers so that they have opportunities to continue to evolve this world. We will be looking to branch out into other sports as we move forward. We'll also be looking to provide, even within this sport, other opportunities for economic empowerment for our users. There's within our roadmap ability to have golfers as trainers. So if you're not placing in the leaderboard right away, you can use the golfers to train other golfers. So it's a peer-to-peer interaction and really creating a vibrant community. And that's the direction that we're going. And there's a lot of other things that we have on the plate and agenda that we would love to begin to share with our users in the marketplace at some point in time. And so just quickly, I'm just going to double check, Shayna, did I miss anything that we wanted to share today, or if you wanted to add
just would add that it's also our mission, and I think John mentioned this earlier with the easy sign-on, is that it's our mission to kind of bring the blockchain-based games to the mass markets, and so that is top of mind for us. And part of the reason why you see the try for free there is to help people connect with the asset itself before they actually make the investment. So, this is a point of optimization for us, in that we're thinking through the easy sign-on as another aspect that we are also, looking to refine and hone in as we bring this game to the mass market. And then lastly, just the overall gameplay we're hoping is relatable enough to golf games, while, as Yang mentioned, that we're not actually competing with the other golf games out there, but it's a relatable concept to help people actually understand that they own something unique and valuable.
I think that's it for the most part. And if we have a second, I can actually just go ahead and swing one of the balls here, and I maybe embarrass myself.
That's normally for the upcoming demo day now. Like we don't do demo.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead. There you go. It's always good.
Let me see. I'll give it one swing.
I'll talk about our demo day at the end of the event. It's good. I know the game has been in beta for quite some time, and having tested it early on and even provided some feedback, I can already see most of the changes have been implemented. The UX, the UI, the presentation of the marketplace and golfer, and even the difficulty here seems to be more accessible. So it looks all great. Do you have any metrics, any numbers to share with us since you launched the game already?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have any direct metrics that we think we're sharing right now. But I mean, obviously, we have the 2,000 golfers that we're looking to sell. We have, I think, we're leaving about 200 of those so that we can create unique art. So we're kind of putting those aside for now. And then so there's about 1,800 of them that we're selling. I believe if I look in the marketplace, so there's about 200 that are left here. So a good 1,600 of those have already moved off the market. We do know that the rare ones for us, the legends and the elites, move really fast. And I don't have exact numbers of how many legends and elites there are in the marketplace, but they have been purchased pretty quickly. And then in terms of activity engagement, the tournament has been extremely well received. We just started it yesterday, but it's been extremely well received, and we've had a number of our users really participate and be active in the gameplay, which has been great. And we know that we have a number of our users scooping up some of the rare ones and really looking to play within the marketplace and hold on to those for some time for the value on those as well.
Whoops, I was muted. So it's great. It's the beginning. It's the fact of starting the first tournament, just a surprise. It will attract the first users, and then I guess by word of mouth and progressively, at least we have more and more actual games that can be played and that prove the concept of play to earn. So please, if you're watching today, let's try play block lead games, and this is a great example of play to earn.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and we're extremely excited about it. And this is season 1 for us, as we mentioned, and we love people to join in on season 1, and we're continuing to improve that and develop that for upcoming seasons as well.
Thank you, Yang, for the presentation, and I'll get back to Yakov now. I think he solved his screen sharing issue, right?
Yeah, let's test that.
Yep, seems like it works. Yep, all good. So, yep, Yakov, tell us more about HCIV.
Yeah, thank you. Good to finally be here at this presentation. So, essentially, we are a team that provides financial services in the space, and we generally have 4 business lines, which are investments, advisory, asset management, and research. And the background of the team, we're 4 partners. Most of us have experience in classic investment banking, asset management, and advisory. And the whole team, as of now, is 21 people. And you can see many familiar names on these slides among our partners. So to give you some background on where we started from, our company is 3 years old. And we've started from advisory business back in 2017, looking at a bunch of different projects and just trying to get our head around how the projects get valuation in this space. How is the right way? What is the right model to value a project, to put a value on the project? And we've spent some time on that, and that's when we decided to start our research division. Essentially 6 months after we were in, we all got very intrigued by the book by Chris Barinsky called Crypto Assets, and managed to approach him and start working with him in our research efforts. At that time, there was a big transaction for the Russian market where we are based, which was Telegram, and we spent a lot of time writing research in Telegram, like 6 months. Put out a big report and started working, sharing ideas with a bunch of funds in the Valley and later on in Europe and in Asia. And so we've been developing this very interesting relationships with a bunch of these people throughout these 3 years. And in parallel, we were trading. So in our asset management division, we currently have 20 million under management, and that's how we know the major exchanges. We work actively with Binance, BitMEX, Deribit, and a couple others. And as you can see, we have done a number of investments in various, both layer 1 protocols, layer 2 solutions, and some others. And obviously now is the time, as Scott from Outlier has pointed out, there is a lot of attention around NFT space, and actually we're currently advising a project which is in the VR space, and which is entering the blockchain industry and trying to build the proper combination of the VR and the blockchain components under the hood. And we have been just spending a lot of time on that over the last 3 to 6 months. So I thought that now would be a good time to make a more active role, make a more active entrance in BGA, and see what we can do with other people out here, with other projects out here. Because as many have outlined during the presentation today, interop is one of the key pain points for the industry in general, for blockchain industry in general, and definitely the gaming part of it, NFT in particular. So I definitely believe that this should be done cooperatively. At the same time, this project of ours that we're helping, that we're working with, is interested in entering the US market, since a significant part of it is already in the US. So I believe with David, we can also have a discussion post this call. So yeah, generally speaking, we are constantly looking at projects, both from the investment perspective, since we have investor base which is fairly dispersed between Russia, Europe, and Asia. Among the 21 people we have in our team, we have a person in China, and we have been very active in that market as well over the last 18 months. So at the same time, we can help the projects build the fundraising strategy and just think through how they should be developing and spending budget in the course of the next 2 to 3 years, depending on when they want to do the next round. That said, great to be here, and happy to do some follow-ups post this call. Let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you so much. Have you been advising, besides you mentioned one VR game, did you advise or help any other blockchain games over in the past? Just
we have not. We have looked at a couple projects in the space, but frankly speaking, since we're a finance first team, we have been heavily focused on layer ones. That is our core competence, and we're welcoming anyone who is planning to build on Polkadot, Kusama, or Near protocol. These are our major, let's say, areas of competence, and we are deeply involved in the ecosystem, especially with Polkadot and Kusama. And obviously, we do a lot of stuff with DeFi since the beginning of it, since Maker back in 2017 and 2018. So this is our main competence. And the reason why we're going into gaming more now is because, well, there's a good thesis by one of our fellow venture fund investors that at some point everything is going to be NFT. And frankly speaking, seems like it. So as long as there is convergence between the financial applications that blockchain provides and NFT as a concept, that is where we're just heading naturally. So yeah.
Perfect. Cool. Well, we hope that joining the BGA will help you to reach out to more games company in the future, and you'll be able to provide your experience in layer one and other financial aspects. All right, I think we're going to close today's event with Shayna.
Simple question.
Yes. Hey, Brian, tell us.
I just wanted to ask about your opinion. We are currently cooperating with the Uniland Finance. It's a DeFi project which actually provides the yield farming on their platform, and we were trying to explore the opportunity to learn the emergent trend on the NFT and DeFi crossover, whether it's going to be possible from the financial perspective. Was it not the regulatory? From the financial perspective, how it's going to look, let's say someone creates a NFT item on the Dvision network, and its liquidity and the market price, it's arbitraged, and it's not really the market value that's imposed there. So let's say someone takes it and goes to the partner company that powers the crossover, and they put it as a collateral, and they get it, let's say, a loan. They get a loan based on this NFT. How should be this process working, and how from the financial perspective, like what kind of models can be used in this side in order to maximally make it safe and user friendly in terms of like it's not going to be like getting 100% rejection to every NFT item.
Well,
is there maybe just to be mindful of time and the people who are watching us, as we're a bit late, if there's not a free word answer to that question, I recommend to take it offline. It's very interesting topic for sure, but I'm sure it's going to take a few minutes to provide a meaningful answer to that question. So I would recommend you two to connect. That's why the BGA exists, for the members to connect directly. And you can chat on Discord, Telegram. I'm happy to put you in touch directly over email as well. I'll do that in the background, but I'll need to jump to our final speaker for today, which is Shayna. Thank you, Brian.
Hey.
And hello, Shayna. Thank you for your patience.
Hi. Well, actually, we covered all of the Black Lake Games topics, so I think we're good.
All right. It's cool. Do you have anything to add, maybe related to, are you planning to run more sports-related game in the future? Like, how is this golf game? Is it a first experiment for you? What's your long-term strategy?
Well, our long-term strategy, yes, is to expand into other sports, but nothing official yet that we can share. So, but yes, I think Yang kind of covered the strategy in terms of, we're very focused on play to earn, and, we want to make sure that our values are aligned with our players' values, and then that will bring the NFT space to the masses. So.
Perfect. Well, that's cool. Thanks. Well, then in this case, we are just right on time to finish today's event, I think. And we had a lot of amazing presentation of various products. I think a word of the end on my side. Let me see. I do have the slide on one of my screen. I had them. Oh, yeah, here. All right. So I'll just invite all of you to join the upcoming BGA Demo Day, which will be happening on 2 days, actually, the November 4th and November 11th. So let me first put the banner for November 4th. Sorry. The principle is very easy. It's a demo day where all the participants, instead of presenting the usual way with slides and a little bit more pitch about the company, it's all like hands-on demo. So we're going to run live through the different games of many of the members, BGA members companies. So the audience can get a chance to see how those games look and feel. They'll be really surprised that those games look amazing. They have all high qualities that just await you to see, so that we hope that it will bring a lot of new players into the space. And there will be prize as well for the audience. On every stream, we'll be distributing NFTs for one of the attendees during the streams, and additional prize as well via other activities like quizzes related to what has been presented live on the event. So that's that one on this banner. You'll see a lot of games on November 4th at 5 p.m. CET, including Blocklead Games, including Reality Gaming Group, the Six Dragon, MIB Trek, Engine, Brightstar, Upland, Somnium Space, The Sandbox, Second Legion again, Gamer Ash, Dark Country. So a lot of different games, RPG, sport, virtual world, shooter, and many, many other things. And there will, because we have so many great members, we actually couldn't fit it all in just one day. So we had to split all those companies in 2 days. So November 4th and November 11th. I highly will keep posting about it on the Blockchain Game Alliance, all channels, Twitter, Medium, Discord, Telegram, and I invite you to join. On that closing note, I want to thank again all the new members who joined the BGA and who presented today their company and games. And well, I invite you to keep following us on all the activities that the BGA is running to keep pushing the adoption of blockchain technology inside the gaming industry. Thank you, everyone, and have a good end of the day wherever you're based.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Great.
Bye-bye.
Bye.